Dan Illman, Mike Beard, taking a look at the feature race at Belmont at the Big A on Sunday. Let's throw up the field for race number 8. This is a stake for New York bred sprinters. They're fillies and mares in the Dancin Renee. We've got 6 in here. We've got a deserving odds-on morning line favorite. That's the 3 Sterling Silver, dropping out of a pretty good effort in the Grade 1 Derby City Distaff.
That's 2 starts in top Grade 1 company. Dan ran really well in both of those races. She's just not really that kind of horse. This is very clearly a much better spot for her.
Yeah, she likes to rally from off the pace. It is a short field. Let's throw up our Timeform US pace projector and see if maybe she'll be compromised by the lack of pace. Now, Timeform US does believe that this race will favor front runners. Can't Hurry Love, the 2, is likely to get to the lead. Majestic Return has tactical speed, but it looks like the 3 Sterling Silver, Mike, he might need a little bit of help.
We'll see if this pace projector is right. I'm going to disagree with it. I don't think the race is going to be run like this. Can't Hurry Love's a speed horse. Majestic Return, who is going to, come back in a race like this after, running pretty poorly. The only time they tried a stakes race were there last year or earlier this year. I just think if they're going to run here, they have to use her speed in this race and go. It's worth noting too, Dan, that the 4 Lilu, the last time that she ran against New York breds, they got really aggressive with her and went to the lead. And I think they're going forward again.
Captain's Daughter is the number 1. She finished 5th in this race last year and is now going to try it off of a lengthy layoff. So she's going to really have to have them nailed on tight. She's facing a pretty tough group.
She's underrated. She's in pretty tough in a race like this one. I'm assuming they'll just sort of sit back here and try to make one run in this race and try to pick up some pieces. She's pretty good, though.
Can't Hurry Love is the number 2, and blinkers are going to go on this one. She just missed last time out in the correction. This is an open stakes race for Can't Hurry Love, and she finishes 2nd, and that's where she likes to be. We watch Can't Hurry Love. It's a wet track. Quick Money made the lead. She's going to get very, very tired. Can't Hurry Love's just going to miss. Again, that's kind of been the story lately with her, Mike. Maybe the blinkers just give her a little bit more focus. She's pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a habit of hers not to get the job done. That being said, this is a brutal beat for this horse. This race was wicked fast, and she chased it the entire way. And she's not stopping at the end of this race, Dan. I mean, that's a good horse. Hot Fudge, who nails her on the wire, that's a really good horse. To me, that was a really tough beat for Can't Hurry Love. She ran great in there. This is her distance. We'll see if she can make the lead in here and get the right kind of trip. But I'm not taking her chances lightly.
She won this race last year, and she beat Sterling Silver in doing so. You can argue that Sterling Silver is much improved since that race. She actually finished 1st in the graded Gallant Bloom before being taken down in a tough DQ. She ran in the Derby Distaff last time out. It's tough to beat horses like Vava and Alva Star to begin with. When you're 4 or 5 wide around the track, it's even tougher. She ran fine. She flattened out a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good try in a really tough spot. And you're right, the trip wasn't exactly a great one for her. I thought similarly about her Madison, where they tried to come inside through the stretch in that race, and those horses are just too good for her. But I thought she did pretty well in that race to just miss 3rd. Her overall form just kind of stands out here. I guess if you wanted to, you could say, well, maybe 6 is a little short for her. She's better 6.5 or 7. I'm not really looking at her that way. This is the right race to run her in, and her good race makes her really, really tough.
Lilu drops back down in with New York breds after a pretty good performance in her own right. 4th place effort in the winning colors, where she was placed on a pretty hard chase on the turn and into the stretch, and then she flattened out. Maybe she could sort of work out a trip, tracking the leaders in 3rd, try to get the jump on the favorite, turning for home.
I think that's a very viable way to look at her. Her overall form, especially recently, is good. Her last 2 starts against really tough competition, I thought she ran fine both times. When you go back to the Iroquois, again, the last time that they ran her against New York breds last October, they got really aggressive with her in there. They went pretty quick on the lead. She ran great in there, but she was no match for Sterling Silver. It was close at the finish, but Sterling Silver closed her down, and she did it under strong handling.
Like the effort, Security Code gave 2 starts back, going 7/8 of a mile on a wet track. Just was run down by the favorite that day. They stretched her out to a 1-turn mile, and she was very, very aggressive in the Biagio's Rose. I think this time they're going to revert to sort of the tracking tactics that have worked well for her in the past, and maybe just cutting back in distance is what the doctor ordered. She will have to run a career best by her.
Yeah, I like her cutting back too. She another horse, like the horse on the rail. She's underrated. I still feel like she's probably in too tough. If this field stays intact and there are no scratches out of this field, This is a really tough spot for her.
Majestic Return has only raced once in the stakes ranks previously. That was the Broadway back in February. Without Lasix, she showed speed. She tired very badly. Put the Lasix back on for this race, an open allowance, and she's got the lead turning for home, Mike, and it looks like Majestic Return is on her way to victory, and she's not only not going to win, not going to run second.
Yeah, she's going to get tired at the end of this race. It's an okay performance off of a little bit of a layup, but there's not a real excuse for her in here. Dan, they tried turf last time for some reason. She's just not a turf horse. This is the right surface. She has speed from the outside. You have to be really concerned about that Broadway in February. She dueled with Can't Hurry Love. She was absolutely no match, and she was in great form at that time. And that was a really disappointing performance.
And that's her primary pace foe, most likely, once again. Can't Hurry Love on Sunday. Let's take a look at our top picks. Really, Sterling Silver's very tough. Yes, she's going to have to deal with perhaps a questionable pace scenario. Maybe this distance is a little bit sharp for her. But if she stays within range, you would have to think that her class is going to make her really tough.
Yeah, I think so. I just couldn't go against her in here, Dan. I think the 4 is very viable as an alternative. We'll see what kind of price she winds up as. Even Can't Hurry Love has some kind of a chance in here, but I couldn't pick against the favorite.
3-4-2-1 for Mike, 3-2-4-1 for me. It's the feature at Belmont at the Big A. The Dancin Renee on Sunday. Good luck.